I had a crazy neighbor named Dave Carone, and so he lived on the same street as I did, but he wasn't like right across. One day I saw him with like 10 bags of trash in his car. He drove into the driveway with the 10 bags, and he just let them sit in the car for like 3 days with these 10 like full trash bags. And then one day my dad asked, he was like, what? He's like, Dave, what are these bags? Like, what's the deal here? And Dave was like, oh, groceries. Dude, those weren't groceries. It did not make sense. Dave was full of shit. Dave had a way of talking that would make anybody think that he was in some way disabled. It was just hard to kind of like understand him. He kind of sounded like he would talk like this. It'd be like, oh, hey, Dave. And it would be like, hello. And it didn't really make sense. And he wasn't disabled. He had a job. He had a normal job. He was a computer programmer. But he was definitely a weird guy. He was average height, a little bit heavy, bright red hair, long hair, ponytail, drove a Volkswagen Bug. He'd come to the neighborhood parties and he'd get drunk. When he got drunk, he'd talk about aliens. He'd be like, I saw an alien once. We go, oh, really, Dave? You saw an alien? What was that like? Because we don't want to be rude. Nobody wants to be rude to somebody that says they saw an alien. Only a jackass would do that. So he goes like, it was green. It was a green alien. Yeah, we were all like, wow, green alien, cool. We let it be. We didn't ask follow-up questions. Not with Dave. Dave didn't really get angry, but he just sounded aggressive kind of all the time. Sometimes it was just better not to interact. Actually, most of the time it was better not to interact. His lights are on all the time. And loud music plays from his house all the time. Even though he doesn't throw parties, he just plays loud music in his house for no reason. It'll be 3 o'clock in the morning and I'll wake up because I hear blaring hip-hop music from Dave's house. I've thought about confronting him about it because it had gone on for years and it was seriously disrupting my sleep. But again, I didn't want to deal with the guy. I didn't want to. Because if I were to confront him, it would be like, you don't like my music? You don't like my music? And I'd be like, no, I don't really like it because it's at 3 a.m. But again, I haven't had the nerve to confront. I hadn't got the nerve to confront him, so it hasn't happened. I think he's still kicking it. I think he's like in his 60s. So I don't live in that neighborhood anymore, but I think he's still doing weird stuff. Some people are just weird. Some people do things a little differently. That's just the way some people are. Dave had a girlfriend once, or a girlfriend that like the neighborhood knew about because he brought her to a neighborhood party. And she was like 20 and like hot. And it didn't make sense. And after that, everyone kind of respected Dave a little bit more. I mean, that's just the kind of thing that happens. Like that's when a guy that really shouldn't have a hot girlfriend has a hot girlfriend, everyone just kind of respects that. It's like, okay, I see what's going on here. There's something about this guy. And that's how Dave is. But like most of the time, Dave doesn't have a girlfriend. Most of the time, he's a solitary creature of sorts. Or from what I remember. So, I guess that's all I have to say about my weird neighbor from the past. Thanks for listening.